Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Coach Show, episode 54. I'm here with Alois Rosario. Welcome, Alois.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yes, and in this show, we're going to talk about Wang Hao's retirement. We're going to talk about some equipment. We're going to talk about difficulties transferring between a backspin ball and a topspin ball, and we're also going to discuss moving around the table and getting put out of position. So it's an exciting show. We've got lots to discuss, Alois.
Yeah, we have, yes. And probably starting off with our last PingSkills question of the day, which was a little while ago now, Jeff, because we've had a bit of Christmas in between.
It was some merry times.
Yes, merry times. Too much eating, as usual, but here we are.
Indeed. So the last PingSkills question of the day was, what has been your personal table tennis highlight of 2014?
Yeah, so we've got some really good answers from some of our PingSkillers, which was really great.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so just having a look at some of PingSkillers' highlights.
Yes.
So for the year, we had about 4.6 million views, I think, which, thanks, guys. That's
Thank
fantastic.
you. Yeah, very impressive.
Yep. And also 10 million minutes watched.
Whoa, 10 million minutes.
Yeah,
that's a lot of minutes.
That's a lot of sitting down in front of a computer, you guys. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks for watching.
And so subscribers, we passed 50,000 subscribers.
Wow, thank you again.
And what was the last one? Oh, yes. Oh, this is an interesting one. So, like a few weeks ago, we talked about our backspin pendulum reverse serve. It's now on 999,054 views. So we're getting really close to the 1 million. So,
yes, come on, our first video to reach the 1 million view mark.
So
awesome.
Can we do it by the end of today? Like today's the 31st of December. Yeah, it could be a bit tough to get 1,000 views, but get on there and take a look at it.
Indeed, take a look at it. All right, Alois, so that moves us on to the PingSkillers question of the day for today. And being New Year's Eve, this is quite appropriate, I think. It is, what is your table tennis goal for 2015? So as always, leave a comment and let us know. We'd be really interested to hear your goals.
Yes, while you're making all your other resolutions, get one in for table tennis as well.
Indeed. All right, okay, now, at the start of the show, I mentioned this. Wang Hao has retired from the national Chinese team, Alois.
Yeah, and a bit sad, isn't it? I mean, he's been a great player over a very, very long time. I was lucky enough to watch him play the final of the Olympics in 2004 live. Fantastic player. And he also hit the best shot I've ever seen in table tennis, I reckon.
Is that right?
Yeah, at the final, it was the final of the World Teams Championships in Qatar. And it doesn't sound very spectacular, but he was playing against Germany, and he was there and he was ready to make a forehand topspin. The ball hit the net, just dribbled over. He was able to stop himself, balance himself, and then still hit a winner. Like, you got to see it. Like, I understand it's just me, but yeah, it always stands out in my head as as the best shot I've ever seen in table tennis, because he was able to balance himself off the net. The ball was coming unbelievably fast. World Championship teams final, still made it, got that shot on.
Yeah, what was interesting for me about Wang Hao, the first time I saw him playing, I was like, is he playing with a shake hand?
Yeah.
Because his backhand just looked exactly like a shake hand backhand. I guess he was the one to really popularise the reverse penhold backhand.
Yeah, he did, and so it's really taken off now in world table tennis, and it's such a popular stroke. And as you say, Wang Hao was really the first one to really make it popular.
And I think even that short flick return with the backhand, now a lot of the shake handers are copying his technique with that.
Yep. So he really has changed the game. So thank you, Wang Hao, for your table tennis, and we've got a few of his highlights here too.
Yeah, just let me know.
Have a look at them. So he's won the World Singles Championship, so that is fantastic, in 2009.
Yep.
He was runner-up in no less than the last 3 Olympic men's singles championships.
That's pretty hard to do.
04, 08, and 12. So over such a long period of time to maintain his level is unbelievably great. Just chuck in 5 World Team Championships along the way. So from 04 to 2012. 5 World Team Championships. He won 3 World Cups in 07, 08 and 10.
Yep.
Won 2 Pro Tour Grand Finals in 03 and 06. Won 2 Asian Championships in 03 and 07. So, I mean, like he is unfortunately often remembered for his 3 silver medals at the Olympics, and can he win titles? Well, there you are. He's won a whole bag of titles, and if I had even thought about one of those titles, I mean, yeah,
exactly. Well done, Wang Hao.
So thank you, Wang Hao. Great career.
Great career indeed. All right, let's move on to some questions, Alois. And the first one is from Jared. And he says, is it okay to stretch the rubber, just a normal inverted rubber, when gluing it onto the blade?
Yeah, so it does affect the rubber a little bit. So here we're talking about this sheet of rubber. You can, if you stretch it a bit, sometimes you get a sheet that's a little bit smaller, or you just want to stretch it when you're putting it on as a full sheet. So if you do stretch it, naturally the actual rubber is going to thin out a bit, and also the rubber surface will be tighter and tenser, so it will also wear a little bit quicker. So you can do it, but it's best if you don't. Like if you're putting it on, just roll the rubber onto your racket when you're putting it on. But at some stages, or sometimes if you have got a rubber and it's a little bit short, then it's okay just to stretch it a bit, just to get it out to the edges. So
okay,
so you can do it.
Yes, and for those of you that have never changed the rubber, we've got a video on how to do it. So I'll put a link in the show notes for you on that. Okay, excellent. All right. Now the next question is from Gary, and Gary asks, you can use side tape that covers a lot of the edge of the racket. This will help a bit, but unfortunately, a lot of the rubbers are fragile and will chip on the edges.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so rubbers. Have a look at this sheet of rubber. All right. So as you can see, really chipped around the edges. So that side tape there protects it a little bit. You can even get thicker side tape that covers right up to the edges of the racket, and that's probably the best way of protecting those edges, Gary. Unfortunately, again, the rubbers of today aren't that durable. They are quite fragile, especially on the edges, especially the tensile rubbers tend to be quite fragile. So it's just one of the hazards of the game, and the rubbers are so expensive to replace too.
They are getting quite expensive. But I mean, if you're serious about your table tennis, you've really got to replace them. Otherwise, you're not going to have any grip and won't get any spin.
Yeah, that's right. So try to look after the edges in particular. Yeah, put some side tape on. Try not to bang your racket on the table too much, and see, there you go.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing we've learned from this is that you need to get some new rubbers, Alois.
Look at that. What is going
Come
on?
on.
Look at that.
Get some new rubbers. My goodness. Okay, let's move on to Ilya's question. Ilya says, my problem is that my technique of forehand attacking a topspin and a backspin ball interfere with each other. I try to play a lot of fifth ball drills, concentrating on switching between those two strokes and regulating the swing. But can I do anything else?
Yeah, so this is a really common problem I see with players. So being able to transition between playing the top spin off backspin. So there's backspin, and you need to lift that ball up, and then they block that next one, and then you need to come more forward on that next topspin. It's only a really subtle change, a subtle difference, and that's what really confuses and tricks players. So the first one, more vertical, the second one, more forward. If you think about it, when you're warming up at this, doing forehand to forehand at the start, basically your topspin is that stroke that you're looking for the fifth ball. But just when you make that lifting ball against the backspin and then to transition to that does often confuse players. What I try to get the players to do is really think about making sure that they don't hit the ball off the end of the table. I want them to hit the ball into the net or on the table. It's not allowed to go off the end, but it is allowed to go into the net on that fifth ball. So that will start to get you to really think about coming forward and over that fifth ball. But what you're doing though is, Ilya, is the fifth ball drills, and that's perfect. That's a really good way of improving that technique in the transition.
So you serve one ball with backspin, get your opponent to push it, you top spin it, they block it back, and then adjust for that next fifth ball. So that's why we talk about fifth ball drill.
You can also do it with multi-ball if you want. So get the feeder to feed out one backspin ball and then one topspin ball, one backspin and one topspin, and then adjusting between those two.
Yeah, so that sounds like another good way to do it. So then you're getting practice at switching between the two different strokes.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, well, that's a great question, Ilya, and it is a common one. And I think we do have a video. I'll search up if I find it. Yep. I'll put a link in the show notes for you about that.
Yeah, it's called the follow-up forehand, I think.
Follow-up forehand. Yeah. Excellent. Very good. All right. Moving on to the next question from Akash, who says, one of my friends continuously hits to the backhand side and then the forehand side. And this is becoming a big issue since he makes me quickly lose control and balance. How do I play against him so he won't be able to place the ball so wide to me?
Yeah. So one thing to think about, Akash, is where you are placing the ball. So if you place the ball to a corner to start off with, it opens up the angle for them. So if I play it there, okay, that opens up the angle and you can get me quite wide. But if I play down the center of the table, then it doesn't give him as much angle to play with to start off in the rally. So that's something you can think about. So starting off by playing more centrally into the table until you get an opportunity and then play it out wide, as long as it's a stronger ball that they're not going to be able to come back at you with. The other thing is, if they do start to get you wide, make sure you play cross court. So if you play cross court, then again, the most likely place that they're going to play the ball is straight back to you. So if I play it over that way, they're going to tend to play it back to me here. If I play it over there, then they're going to tend to play the ball over there. So think about where you're placing the ball on the table and making life a little bit easier for yourself by cutting out the angles a bit.
Okay, yeah, good advice. So by limiting the angles, you're gonna make it easier for yourself. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else we can do? Can we try and outplace them first, or something like that?
Yeah. So you definitely can. So again, if you are going to pull the trigger and go out wide, it has to be good, because if you go out wide, then they're going to have a good angle to come back at you with as well. So you need to think about that. Okay, so there's
one option, limit the angles. Another option, try and be a bit more aggressive. And then what about in terms of just improving our general footwork so that we can cover those wide balls?
Yeah, that's really important, obviously, to make sure that your movement is better so that you can move to those balls. And so we've got lessons on the basic stance and some basic footwork that will really help you with that too.
Okay, and just to finish off this show, Alois, we can talk about Wang Hao's movement.
Oh wow, Wang Hao's movement is special. I mean, it's one of the real features of a lot of the Chinese players is their movement. But yeah, Wang Hao is really special with the way that he can move. I probably rate he and Zhu Xin as two of the best movers in the world.
Indeed. There you go. Well, that wraps up episode 54. Thanks everyone for your questions. Remember to visit PingSkills.com and sign up for our free newsletter if you haven't. And we've got lots of information there. You can check out all the show notes on our website. Again, PingSkills.com, and click on the blog link. Thanks, everyone. And thank you, Alois. And being New Year's.
Yep. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yep. And I hope 2015 brings you lots of table tennis and something really special.
Indeed. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Happy New Year.